Hello and welcome everyone. I'm the Upper Down, aka Tud, and today we're going to be playing some Slay the Spire. Alrighty, so today we're going to be playing as the Watcher. Alright, let's see what Niao has in store for us today. Alright, we can obtain a random rare card. Enemies in the next 3 combats will have 1 HP. We could lose all our gold for 14 max health. Or we could lose our starting relic and obtain a random boss relic. Let's take a look at the map here and see where our empowered mini-boss is. He is pretty far down the line here. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to get to him early enough to make use of the second option here. So our choices are obtain a random rare card or trade all our gold for 14 max health. Now let's see, if we were to follow the far left path, which is the only way we'll get to the empowered mini-boss on the first floor, there would be only a shop late game. Alright, let's go ahead and take the 14 max health here. I feel like that's going to be the best outcome for us in the long term. We've traded all our gold, 99 pieces, for 86 total health, so we got 14 out of that. Alright, let's hop into the first battle here on the far right side. We have lots of combats coming up, so we better be prepared. Alright, so to start, it looks like 11 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and pop Vigilance to enter con. That gives us 8 block. Alright, so that leaves us with 3 incoming damage. We might as well play a defend here because we don't have anything worth playing attack-wise. That now gives us a full block. Alright, it looks like another similar attack once again. Unfortunately, this time we don't have the block. Alright, so I could throw 2 more attacks at the enemy in the front here. That would leave him with 6 health remaining. I could then pop a miracle to take him out. That would reduce the amount of incoming damage for us. So we've reduced the damage now down to 5. So we'll drop down to 81 health here. No attack incoming this time around. Let's take the opportunity to play Eruption here, which will increase our strike's damage. Alright, so a couple of card choices here. We have first up Pressure Points. Apply 8 mark. All enemies lose HP equal to their mark. We also have Protect. It is a 2-cost card, but it does have Retain, so it will stay in the hand at the end of the turn if we don't play it. And it will give us 12 block. Now we also have Evaluate. Gain 6 block, shuffle an Insight into the draw pile. Insight will allow us to draw 2 cards, and it has Retain on it as well, so you can time it for a moment when you have mana to spend. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Protect here. The block and being able to control when that card goes out is big. Alright, so first enemy here looking to do 11 damage to us. Let's go ahead and start out with Vigilance here for the block. And then we will throw a strike. Let's go ahead and pop our miracle here, and we'll pop a second strike. That puts him now at 28 health. He's going to hit us for 3, dropping us down to 78. Hey, would you look at that? We are pretty much good. 7 damage incoming. We have drawn our Protect, which will retain for now. We're going to go ahead and play both of our defends here and a strike as well. We'll hold on to the Protect for next turn just in case. 5 block gained by our enemy here, looking to do 7 damage here. Alright, looks like a good moment to play a defend and double strike. We've got him down to 15 health. He's going to do 2 damage to us, dropping us down to 76. Alright, now we can take him out. Eruption into a strike. Alright, we got ourselves an Ancient Potion, which will give us 1 artifact, preventing the next status effect Alright, we have Swivel. Gain 8 block, the next attack you play costs 0. We also have Sash Whip. Deal 8 damage. If the last card played this combat was an attack, apply 1 weak to the enemy. And finally we have Crescendo. Retain and enter Ren. Alright, lots of good options here. I'm going to go ahead and go with Sash Whip here for the opportunity to apply weak. Into the question mark room we go. Scrap Ooze. As you walk into the room, you hear a gurgling and the grinding of metals. Before you is a slime-like creature that ate too much scrap for its own good. From the center of the creature, you see glints of strange light. Perhaps something magical? It looks like you can get some treasure if you just reach inside its opening. However, the acid and sharp objects may hurt. We're sitting at 76 health, and we have 2 regular combats, a mini-boss, we have a fire, but then we fight an empowered mini-boss. So there is some risk to proceeding here. I am going to go ahead and attempt it a couple of times just to see what happens. We might get something worthwhile out of this. Ouch! All you find is corroded metal and a bit of burning pain. However, you're still convinced there's a relic. 35% chance lose 4 health. We failed once again. 45% chance 5 health. We have gotten it. If you do not play any attacks during your turn, gain an additional mana next turn. Success. After rummaging through the metal and burning acid, you finally grab hold of a relic and yank it out. You pull your way out of the ooze, damaged, but rewarded. Alright, into the next fight we go. We have 2 enemies here, only one of which is looking to attack us this turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a defend here. We're going to strike at the enemy in the back, and follow that up with a Sash Whip, which will apply 1 weak to the enemy in the front, reducing his damage output to 2. We have a full block for that regardless. Alright, no attack incoming this time around. Let's go ahead and pop Eruption on the enemy in the front. We'll take him out. And then we'll pop a Strike on the enemy in the back, dropping him down to 11 health. We're going to hold on to our Miracle and our Protect for next turn. Hopefully we draw an attack worth playing here. We have drawn a Strike, so this battle is over. 19 gold, a Blessing of the Forge, and a new card. Windmill Strike. Retain. Deal 7 damage. When retained, increase this card's damage by 4 for the rest of combat. We also have Empty Body. Gain 7 block and exit your stance. And Flurry of Blows. Deal 4 damage at no charge. Whenever you change stances, return this from the discard pile to your hand. Let's go ahead and pick up Windmill Strike. I like having retain cards in the deck, especially because there's a power that will allow you to decrease the cost of cards you retain by 1. Alright, so to start off, we're going to go ahead here and pop Defend for 5 block. Then we will strike into a Sash Whip to apply weak. We have his damage down to 5, so we now have a full block here. I could pop Miracle to get Strike, but we're going to hold off for now. He's applied us with 1 weak. His damage has gone back up to 7. Let's go ahead and pop Vigilance here to enter Calm. And I'm going to actually hold off on using my attack cards for now, so we can trigger our Art of War for an additional mana next turn. I'm about to play another Defend, simply to get it out of the hand. We've been applied with another turn of weak here. Looks like 12 damage is incoming. We have a Protect to block all of that. Now, we could pop Eruption here to increase our attack damage, but we would also receive more damage. So it's probably best that we hold off on doing anything like that. I'll go ahead and throw both of my strikes here, simply to get some damage on the board. And our full block will go into effect. We have lost the weak that we were applied with, so we are now able to attack at full strength once again. Our Windmill Strike is up to 15 damage now. Alright, 7 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and pop defend. That gives us 5 block. And we can double strike here. I'm going to go ahead and pop my miracle to get the defend in so we don't lose any health here. Another 12 damage incoming. Well, let's go ahead and start out with a strike into Sash Whip for the weak. That gets him down to 9. I'll go ahead and pop my Blessing of the Forge here so we can get an 8 block defend. Now we'll drop down to 63 health, sustaining 1 damage. And Windmill Strike to finish it. Got ourselves another Blessing of the Forge. Just lucky. Scry 1, gain 2 block, and deal 3 damage. We also have Weave. Deal 4 damage whenever you scry. Return this from the discard to your hand. And Sanctity. Gain 6 block if the last card played this combat was a skill. Draw 2 cards. I'm going to go ahead and go with Just Lucky here. Being able to do a bit of everything is definitely nice. Heading into the mini-boss. This is not the empowered mini-boss, this is the regular mini-boss that we fight first. Seems like a good opportunity to pop Blessing of the Forge here. Let's go ahead and start out with our Vigilance to enter Calm. No point in waking him up just yet. We'll save our additional mana. We have drawn Windmill Strike. The enemy will wake up next turn regardless of what we do. Let's go ahead and pop Just Lucky to see what the next card is going to be. It's going to be an Eruption. Alright. Since we did just attack, we won't be getting the extra mana next turn, so let's go ahead and pop everything here. Alright, we do have to be careful with this enemy. He will be debuffing us with attack and defense decreases. Let's go ahead and pop a Sash Whip here to apply weak to him. Alright, if we pop Eruption here, we will gain 2 mana, and our attack damage will be increased, but we will sustain more damage. So we definitely need to be careful here. Let's go ahead and pop Protect here. That gives us almost a full block. We'll lose 1 health here. Dropping us down to 62. 18 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and pop Just Lucky. We're going to get a Strike. Let's go ahead and send that to the discard in the hopes that we get something better. Go ahead and pop our defense and vigilance as well. That gives us a full block here. I could pop my miracle to use my strike, but we're going to hold off on that. Alright, here comes the debuff. Alright, let's start attacking here. Go ahead and pop my miracle to use Windmill Strike. Got him down to 54 health. He has decreased our attack and defense here by 1, so we'll get 1 less out of attack and 1 less out of defense. 18 damage incoming. Let's go ahead and pop both of our defends here. We'll strike and play Just Lucky as well. We're going to get Protect back in the next turn. That's fantastic to know. 3 damage incoming here, dropping us down to 59 health remaining. Another 18 damage incoming. Go ahead and play our Protect. And we also have Defend here for an additional 4. Now, this does not... Since I did not play an attack this turn, we will get an extra mana out of this next turn. Alright, he's going to be applying us with a debuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to drink my Artifact Potion in the hopes that we can block one of the 2 debuffs he's about to hit us with. Alright, let's go ahead and start out with Eruption. That puts us into Wrath. Now we can apply Sash Whip. And we came out 1 damage short. Alright, I did remove the dexterity debuff he was about to apply us with. And now we can finish the fight. We got the oddly smooth stone. Start each combat with 1 dexterity, so we'll get 1 extra block out of cards going forward. And we get 3 cards to choose from. Unfortunately, all 3 of them are good. First we have Perseverance, Retain. Gain 5 block. When it's retained, increase the block gained by this card, from this card I should say, by 2 for the rest of combat. We also have Diva Form. At the start of your turn, gain 1 additional mana, and increase this gain by 1 on subsequent turns. Finally, we have Flying Sleeves. Retain, deal 4 damage twice. I feel like Diva Form is the go-to answer here. It opens up so many avenues for you, and it's good for pretty much every play style. Alright, let's go ahead here and... we should probably heal up. We're about to head into an empowered mini-boss. That heals us up to 81. We're almost back to full health. We'll head into the empowered mini-boss here. 3 enemies, each of them having Metallicize 4, so they will gain 4 armor at the end of their turn. Let's go and start out with Diva Form here for the additional mana going forward. And then we will throw Just Lucky at the enemy in the front. That tells us we are going to get Vigilance on the next turn. Alright, let's go ahead and pop our Miracle here. We'll play our Defend. That gives us 9 block, just enough to avoid taking any damage here. Alright, 18 damage incoming here. We will have to be careful about this. Let's go ahead and start out with Vigilance for 9 block. We can also pop Protect. That gives us the extra 13, so we now have a full block here. And we'll get 1 additional mana from our Art of War, as well as 1 from, well, 2 from our Diva Form, so we'll be sitting at 5. Oh, 6, apologies. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pop our Defend. And we'll start attacking the enemy in the front here. I could go ahead and play Windmill Strike. It's sitting at 11 damage. And then a regular strike as well. That leaves us with 1 card we could not play. 3 damage we'll be receiving from the enemy in the middle. Alright, 18 damage once again here. Let's go ahead and Sash Whip the enemy in front. We've worn out his status debuff blocker. Alright, we should be able to take him out now. Alright, so if we pop our Vigilance, it won't take us out of Calm, giving us the mana, but it will give us the block we need to avoid any damage from the enemy in the back. Nine damage once again, this time from the enemy in the front. Let's go ahead and pop our Defend here into a Windmill Strike and a regular strike. 28 health remaining, 3 damage incoming here. We'll drop down to 75 health remaining. The dazed cards are quite a bother. They fill up the hand fast. We're going to avoid playing Eruption here, as that would only increase the damage we're about to take. 9 damage received, dropping us down to 66 health. We drew 2 defends, that's enough to avoid any incoming damage here, and we'll throw a strike as well. All defense. We'll play everything in our hand because we can. Unfortunately, we can't carry this block over between turns. That would help us out a lot. No block to speak of. I could have attempted to take out the enemy in the front there, but without a clear way to re-enter Calm or exit Wrath, that would have been a bit dangerous. So we will be taking 6 damage here, dropping down to 60 health. But it's better than 18. Alright, we have yet another Vigilance. Let's go play that for the 9 block. And then we will double strike the enemy in the front, dropping him down to 11 health. Hopefully on the next turn we draw a couple of strikes and we can take him out. We have Sash Whip, dropping him down to 7. And another strike. We are 1 damage short. So we will be taking 3 damage here, dropping down to 57. We are on the 12th turn, it said. Let's go ahead and strike the enemy in the front. And let's hold on to Windmill Strike. Actually, it's probably worth just playing it to just play it. 9 damage incoming here, dropping us down to 48. Hopefully we're getting rid of these dazed cards faster than we're accumulating them. Two more added into the discard pile. Let us play our hand here. I'm going to go ahead and play Eruption here. That'll increase the damage output of Sash Whip. It does also mean we are about to take 6 damage, dropping us down to 42. But it also means we are able to end this fight now with 2 strikes. We have a Bag of Preparation. At the start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. That'll increase our chance to get Diva Form. We also have Empty Body. Gain 7 block, exit your stance. Inner Peace. If you are in Calm, draw 3 cards, otherwise enter Calm. And Conclude. Deal 12 damage to all enemies and end your turn. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Empty Body here. We need a way to exit our stance, and something that also gives you block. You can't go wrong with that. Into the Treasure Room we go. Alright, your first attack each combat deals 8 additional damage, or the Sapphire portion of the key. I have a feeling the next option we're going to get to choose is going to be better, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Sapphire portion of the key here. Alright, we could proceed to the to the right, and go into the question mark room. That would lead to a fire and a couple more question mark rooms if we decide to go left there. We could also go to the right. We have a monster fight, potentially 4 question marks leading into a fire, or a shop. Now, I always like to go for as many fire options as I can, so I'm actually going to go into the question mark, cut across to the fire, and then into the other 2 question marks. We're only sitting at 163 gold, so there's not anything too worthwhile. However, we could trade 11 health for more gold. You fall into a puddle. It's made of slime goop. Frantically, you claw yourself out over several minutes as you feel the goop starting to burn. You can feel goop in your ears, goop in your nose, goop everywhere. Climbing out, you notice that some of your gold is missing. Looking back to the puddle, you see your missing coins combined with gold from unfortunate adventurers, mixed together in the puddle. So as I said, we could trade 11 health here for 75 gold, or we could trade this 45 gold and move on with our lives. Well, since we're not heading into the shop right away, let's go ahead and trade the gold, especially since we're sitting at about half health. You decide that mess is not worth it. Into the fire we go. Let's go ahead and pick up the ruby portion of the key here. We have the full key now. Into the next question mark room we go. We have a shop. What are the odds of that? Alright, so we have a battle hymn. At the start of each turn, add a smite to your hand. We have Crescendo to enter Wrath. Sanctity for the block and extra draw. Bowling Bash for 7 damage for each enemy in combat. 15 damage and 2 draw. We also have Jack of Trades. Add one random colorless card to your hand. Lots of good options here. I always like to go with Battle Hymn because it gives you a free smite, which stays in the hand, so you can time your plays better. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. And we still have enough money to afford any of the top cards here. I'm going to go ahead and go with Bowling Bash. 7 damage for each enemy in combat, so that's up to 5. I believe 5 is the most I've seen in a single combat, so that's potentially quite a bit of damage that we could be dealing. Let's go ahead and pick that up, and we cannot afford anything else, so we will hold on to our remaining 30 and move into the next question mark room. Alright, so we have a slime here, looking to do 11 damage to us. Let's go ahead here and start out with our Battle Hymn for our free smite. And do we have a full block? Yes, we do. Double defend. Now, unfortunately, a miracle will only get me 1. And there's no real reason to play anything in our hand at the moment. So we'll hold on to the miracle, and we'll also get an extra mana next turn. Hopefully we draw Diva Form and can get that started. We have not drawn Diva Form, but we can play Vigilance here for the block and Calm. Alright, so we need another 7 block. We get 6 out of Defend. Let's go ahead and play Protect here. That puts us at 22. That is a full block for us now. We get an extra mana now because of our artifact. No attack incoming. Seems like a good opportunity for Diva Form. And now we can play Empty Body for the 2 mana. We'll go ahead and play Just Lucky to get a peek at the next card. It's going to be a block. And let's go ahead and drop both of our smites. We've dropped him down to 39 health. He's almost at half. Once he hits half health, he will split into 2 smaller slimes. Alright, we have gained a Sash Whip here. Let's go ahead and throw that. We'll throw out Windmill Strike as well into a Smite. And since he's sitting at 13 health, now seems like a good opportunity to pop our Miracle and throw another Strike. So now he's down to 9 health. He will split into 2 smaller slimes, each with 9 health. Alright, big damage coming from the enemy in the back. Let's take him out with a Smite first. And now we can take out the enemy in the front with a Double Strike. Oh, we came up short. Luckily we have Eruption. 11 gold gained, 3 new cards. Carve Reality. Deal 6 damage, add a Smite to the hand. We have Empty Body once again, and Protect. Let's go ahead and pick up Carve Reality here for the extra damage. Alright, into the next enemy combat, we have a single foe. He's looking to strike us for 13 on our first turn. Let's go ahead and start out with a Diva Form. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play Just Lucky here for the block. And let's go ahead and pop a Miracle here and play our Defend. That gives us 9, so we're looking at 4 damage here, dropping us down to 38 health. Alright, 8 damage incoming this time around. Let's go ahead here and we should probably pop our Protect for the full block. We'll go ahead and pop Bowling Bash into a Strike. That drops him down to 30 health. And he's going to apply us with a debuff here to make us take more damage. Let's go ahead and pop him with a Sash Whip. That drops his attack down to 9. We can pop Vigilance here for a full block. Into Carve Reality and Smite. Alright, that puts him down to 4 health. 1 strike next turn should be enough to finish him. Gonna hit him with a Sash Whip. We have earned ourselves a Stance Potion. This will allow us to enter either Calm or Wrath at our choosing. We have Crush Joints, deal 8 damage. If the first card played this combat was a skill, apply 1 vulnerable to the enemy. We also have Flying Sleeves, retain 4 damage twice. And Signature Move, can only be played if this is the only attack in your hand, deal 30 damage. Let's go ahead and pick up Flying Sleeves here for the retain effect. Now we are going to be heading into the Spire boss that does random things each turn, or seemingly random. Let's go ahead and upgrade a card here. I'm going to upgrade Battle Hymn to make it innate, so it starts in the hand at the beginning of combat. Alright, we have not drawn Diva form, but that's alright. We should be fine. Let's go ahead and start out with a strike here. I'm going to hold on to Flying Sleeves for now. We still have our Stance Potion, so we can make use of that. Alright, so 24 damage incoming here on the first turn the boss is active. Let's go ahead and pop our Diva form here. We didn't draw much in the way of defense here, so we will have to hold off for now. That will give us 1 additional mana for next turn to work with, though. 6 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and pop our Vigilance. That'll enter Calm for us. Alright, let's go ahead and pop our Stance Potion to enter Wrath. Alright. Lots of big damage here in the hand. We'll go ahead and throw both of our Smites for 24 damage each. We'll pop Carve Reality to get another Smite. Alright, we need just a little bit more block to work with, so we're going to pop Defend here. That gives us a full block. And I can pop my Miracle here to do 16 damage with Flying Sleeves. Alright, we got the boss down to 136 health here. A burn card has been added to the discard. 20 damage incoming here. Alright, we have 5 mana to work with. Let's go ahead and pop Windmill Strike here. We'll pop Just Lucky as well. A Smite. We'll go ahead and pop our Strike, and then Empty Body to exit our stance. So we've reduced his damage back to normal now, so we're looking at 10 damage, which we will fully block. Well, the burn took 2, so we're going to take 1 damage here, dropping down to 13. Let's go ahead and Carve Reality for another Smite. Go ahead and play both our Smites. We'll pop Vigilance here to enter Calm and gain a full block. And then Flying Sleeves for the damage. We've got the boss down to 26 health. Another burn card added into the discard pile. Sash Whip into a Smite, and a Strike to finish it. 105 gold, and a new card to add to the deck. First up we have Judgment. If the enemy has 30 or less health, their health becomes 0. Ragnarok, deal 5 damage to a random enemy 5 times, and Lesson Learned. Deal 10 damage if fatal. Upgrade a random card in your deck permanently. I always love to pick that card up. Hopefully we can make use of it this time around. Alright, replaces Pure Water. At the start of each combat, add 3 miracles to your hand instead of 1. We also have Empty Cage. Upon pickup, remove 2 cards from your deck. And Pandora's Box. Upon pickup, transform all Strike and Defend cards into something else randomly. We're going to go ahead and pick up Holy Water here. That will upgrade our base relic. So we're now going to get 3 miracles instead of 1. Alright, so we definitely want to proceed down the pathway with the most fires. The far left has 1, then we head into a mini-boss, and then we have another. If we decide to go to the right side here, we have 2 fires within relative proximity of one another. There is a shop here I see in the middle. I think the far right side is going to be the way to go. We will have to fight a mini-boss, but I think we can handle it with the deck that we have at the moment. Alright, I'm going to start here in the middle. We're going to work our way up, and then cut across to the far right side and fight that mini-boss. Hopefully the question mark rooms work in our favor this time around. Alright, so first off we have 10 damage incoming here. We're going to go ahead and start out with Diva Form. We'll pop our first miracle and play Battle Hymn. And then we will pop 2 more miracles to play Vigilance, giving us 9 block and giving us Calm as well. So now we're only looking at 1 damage here. We'll drop down to 85 health. No damage incoming from the enemy this time. Let's go ahead and start out with a Smite here. That'll trigger our Sash Whip. Carve Reality here for the Smite. And Strike. Unfortunately, Lesson Learned does not have Retain, so we will have to try to circle that back around when his health is a bit lower. 10 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and start out with just Lucky for the block and the damage output. Alright, so a Defend puts us at 9 block. We'll go ahead and strike into a Smite. Flying Sleeve. Everything in my hand at the moment has Retain on it. Let's go ahead and Flying Sleeves here for the damage. So 1 damage we'll take, dropping us down to 84 health. And applying us with 2 vulnerable. So we will now take increased damage from this enemy. Let's go ahead and hit him with everything we can. Now I can finish this fight with Windmill Strike here. However, there's also a chance I could get Lesson Learned on the next turn, permanently upgrading a card in the deck. So let's look at Survival. Do we have a chance to survive this without taking any damage? We have 12 block from our Defends, plus 13 from Protect, that's 25. So we would drop down to 82 health, but I think that's worth it. Now that does add a few dazed cards into the draw pile. Unfortunately, that is unavoidable. No attack incoming this time around. We are good to hold off for now. He's increased his strength by 3. We've drawn Lesson Learned. Let's go ahead and play it. And we've permanently upgraded a Strike. There's 17 gold for us. And a couple of cards to choose from. We have Signature Move here. Can only be played if it's the last attack in the hand. 30 damage. Cut Through Fate. Deal 7 damage. Look at the next 2 cards and draw 1. We also have Just Lucky here, upgraded. Scry 2. Gain 3 block, and deal 4 damage. Honestly, the 0-cost cards are coming in handy, so I will pick up another. Into the next question mark room we go. Cursed Tome. In an abandoned temple, you find a giant book, open, riddled with cryptic writings. As you try to interpret the elaborate script, it begins to shift and morph into writing you are familiar with. Alright, so if we read this book, we will ultimately lose about 15 health. We can afford to do that at this time, so let's go ahead and do that. Odd. The book seems to be about an ancient named Niao. This piques your interest, but you have a general feeling of malice. Lose 1 health. The Ancient Resurrection. Niao was exiled to the bottom of the Spire. You feel compelled to read more, but your body begins to ache. Lose 2 health. Seeking vengeance, Niao blesses outsiders, using them for her own purposes. You are starting to feel very weak and tired. Lose 3 health. Those resurrected by Niao remember only fragments of their past selves, cursed to fight for eternity. As you near the final page, your old wounds begin to reopen. Alright, we can obtain the book for 10 health, or lose 3 and walk away. We've already come so far, let's go ahead and obtain the book. Alright. and Chiridon. At the start of each combat, add a random power card into your hand, and it costs 0 for this turn only. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Upon finishing the tome, you decide to take it with you. With proof in hand, will you retain your memories? Well, let's find out. We'll head into the next enemy combat here. We got Like Water for free, 3 miracles, and unfortunately our hand is full. At the end of your turn, if you are in calm, gain 5 block. That might come in handy because we are about to enter calm. We'll go ahead and play our battle hymn as well. And that will do it for our first turn. 14 block, that is a full block for us. 18 damage incoming this time around. We have gained Diva Form. We will go ahead and play that. We have 1 extra mana to work with here. We didn't draw anything in the way of block, though. Let's go ahead and start out with a strike. We'll pop a miracle. Oh. Let's pop 2 miracles. We'll pop Smite first into a Sash Whip for the weak. That drops him down to 13 damage here. We get 5 block from Like Water. So he has dropped us down now to 58 health remaining. 12 damage incoming. Let's go ahead and pop Just Lucky. Looks like 2 cards coming up here, Bowling Bash and Strike. We'll pop the second Just Lucky. We already know. Well, now we know which one is going to be first in the draw. Alright, we have 5 block. We're going to get 5 more due to Like Water at the end of the turn. That puts us at 10. Not a lot I really want to play as far as this hand goes. If I pop another Defend here, that puts us at 9. We'll get 14 total. That is enough for a full block. We get to hold on to our Protect card for the extra block potential next turn. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop Carve Reality here for the Smite. Alright, seems like a good opportunity to play our Protect. And another Smite. Keep whittling down the block capabilities he has. We have him sitting at 30 health, a little bit below half. 10 damage incoming this time around. Let's go ahead and pop Just Lucky for the extra block. Now we have Empty Body, which gives us 2 mana and allows us to play another Vigilance. Alright, we are topped off on block at the moment. Let's go ahead and Windmill Strike into Flying Sleeve and finish him with a Strike. Alright, 14 gold for us and a couple of new card options. We have Cross Joints once again for the vulnerable if it's played after a skill. Third Eye, gain 7 block and look at the next 3 cards of the deck. And Swivel, gain 8 block, the next attack you play costs 0. Let's go ahead and pick up Swivel here. Alright. We could go to the left for an enemy combat or to the right for a question mark room. It's the same either way. Let's go ahead and take our chances with the first question mark room. Pleading Vagrant. While sneaking past a group of shrouded figures, one of them approaches you.
Got anything for me, friend? Please, maybe some coin. I just need somewhere to stay. I have treasures I can trade.
He seems delusional, but harmless. We can trade 85 gold and obtain a relic. We can obtain a relic and become cursed with shame by robbing him, or we can leave. I think a relic is worth 85 gold.
Oh, yes, yes. Here, a fair trade.
He has given us a relic here at the start of your turn. Gain 1 mantra. When you reach 10 mantra, enter divinity. That's actually very nice. That means after 10 turns we will automatically deal triple damage. Alright, our hand is full. Let's go ahead and pop our... Well, let's start off with Nirvana. Whenever you scry, gain 3 block. We will be doing that. We'll pop our battle hymn here. And let's go ahead and enter Calm. That gives us 9 block. I'm going to go ahead and pop a miracle here to Carve Reality. That gives us our Smite. Now, I could pop both my miracles to play Swivel into Smite, but I'm going to hold off on that for now. Enemy in the front has gained 1 strength, so he will deal slightly more damage on his next attack. 13 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and start out with Sash Whip on the enemy in the front. Then Just Lucky. Looks like we're going to get another Just Lucky next turn. We gained 3 block as a result of playing Just Lucky. And now we pop Smite on the enemy in the front into another Smite. We have him down now to 6 health remaining. We'll hold on to our Protect for next turn. And no damage incurred this time around. Hopefully we draw Bowling Bash. We did. We'll hit the enemy in the back with that, dealing 14 damage to him. We'll go ahead and play Just Lucky on the... Oh, actually, it'd be better to play Strike. Take him out entirely. Now we play Just Lucky on the enemy in the back. We're going to get Eruption and Strike next turn. Fantastic. And a regular Strike here. I could have used Lesson Learned on him, but I'm going to hold off on that for now. Strength increased on the enemy in the back. He is now looking to do 16 damage. Let's go ahead and start out with our Diva form. Alright. Let's go ahead and play both of our miracles here to get Protect. Now we're only looking at 3 damage. Dropping us down to 54 health. We get the additional mana out of this. Alright, we have Empty Body for 8 block and 2 extra mana. Let's go ahead and throw our Smites here. Try to clear up our hand a little bit. Unfortunately, we will take a little bit of damage here, looking at about 5, dropping us down to 49 health remaining. Still a little above half health. Big damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and pop our Eruption to increase damage output and take him out. 12 gold. We got the Dexterity Potion for 2 Dexterity. And a couple of cards. Reach Heaven, already upgraded. Deal 15 damage, shuffle a Through Violence into the draw pile, which will deal 20 damage for 0 cost. And Wreath of Flame. Your next attack deals 5 additional damage. And we also have another Protect. Let's go ahead and pick up the Protect here. Normally I would go with Reach Heaven, but we don't have a whole lot in the way of block in the deck yet. So let's go ahead and pick that up. Alright, we can either rest or upgrade a card here. We are heading into another monster fight, and another fire after that. So I am going to go ahead and rest here. We will have opportunities to upgrade more cards later. Alright, into the next enemy combat. This one will randomize the cost of cards you draw, so you do have to be careful about that. We got Mental Fortress. Whenever you change stances, gain 4 block. That's not bad. We plan on doing that a little bit. Let's go ahead and start out with Vigilance here to enter Calm, giving us 4 extra block. We'll pop a Miracle for Carve Reality. And we're going to hold on to everything else for now, I think. I am going to go ahead and pop my Dexterity Potion for the 2 extra Dexterity. I have a feeling I'm going to need it with the card cost randomization. 8 damage inflicted on the first turn here. Let's go ahead and lessen that a little bit. Down to 6. Go ahead and play Swivel here, 11 block. Our next attack costs 0. Into a Windmill Strike. And then we can double Smite. Might as well play our Defend, it's 0. And we'll hold on to Protect for next turn. Alright, still no Diva form, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and look at the next 2 cards here. Looks like we're going to get Empty Body, as well as Lesson Learned. We'll go ahead and play our Protect here for the extra block. We're almost at a full block. Let's go ahead and pop our Defend. We have technically played an attack, so we won't get the extra mana next turn. But it's also not worth, I don't think, playing a Miracle here. so we'll hold off on that as well. Full block for us. 22 damage incoming here. Let's go and pop Empty Body for the extra mana. Into a strike. We'll throw a Bowling Bash as well. Get our Smite going. Unfortunately, we're only looking at 10 damage with Lesson Learned. I don't think we're going to be able to get him low enough to make that work. No, we will be just short. Looks like we'll take some damage here as well. We've dropped down to 66 health. But that's fine, we have enough to take him out this time around. Or I could hold off and try to get Lesson Learned once again. Let's go ahead and start out with Defend, 0 cost. Diva Form came up at 1 cost. We have a full block already. Let's go ahead and play Just Lucky here to see what's coming up next. Alright, Protect and Defend. Let's go ahead and get rid of both of those. Unfortunately, the other Just Lucky came up at 2 cost. I don't have enough mana to make that work, so we'll hold off for now. Alright. So we can play Flying Sleeves here for 8 damage, dropping him down to 5. Let's go and play Empty Body. There isn't really any other upside to it other than the block that we just gained. Alright, we will hold on to everything else for now. Full block for us there. He did hit us with some vulnerables, so we do have to be careful going forward. And Lesson Learned has been drawn. Let's go ahead and permanently upgrade a card in the deck. We've permanently upgraded Vigilance, gaining 13 gold, an energy potion for 2 energy, and some more cards we can add to the deck. Empty Body once again here for 7 block, and exiting our stance. Third Eye for 7 block and 3 scry, and pressure points. Let's go and pick up another Empty Body. Extra block and stance dancing. Alright, we will proceed to the right here for the card upgrade. We can upgrade Lesson Learned to do slightly more damage. Unfortunately, it is not necessarily worth our time. We can increase the block on Swivel, increase the damage output on Carve Reality, increase the block value on Empty Body. We can increase the initial and increased damage of Windmill Strike. Or Bowling Bash. We can make it do 10 damage for each enemy in combat. That seems to scale better than most other things, especially at its 1 cost. Let's go ahead and upgrade that. Alright, into the treasure room we go. Ink Bottle. Whenever you play 10 cards, draw 1. Fantastic. Into the question mark room we go. The Nest. A long line of hooded figures can be seen entering an unassuming cathedral. Naturally, you join the line and are quickly surrounded by cultists. They ignore you, as they gleefully chant and wave their weapons around. You eye a donation box. Alright, so, we've got 2 choices here. We can smash and grab for 99 gold, or we can obtain a Ritual Dagger in exchange for 6 health. Ritual Dagger will increase permanently by 3 damage if it's used to take out an enemy. Now, that will cost us 6 health, and we are on tier 2, floor 2, I should say, of this dungeon already. Almost at the end of it. But I think it's worth it. Let's go and pick it up. You decide to stay in line, out of fear, to see what will happen. Eventually, you are face to face with the leader. A well-dressed cultist hands you an ornate dagger. Like the others before you, you slash your forearm and let the blood drip into a misshapen bowl. The cultists chant and holler for you. You chant too. Why not? Into the next enemy combat we go. We have a single enemy here. We have drawn Foresight. At the start of your turn, scry 3. We'll get to look at the next 3 cards of our deck at the start of each turn. We also have Diva Form for additional mana. We'll go and play our Miracle here to get Battle Hymn played. And let's go and play Just Lucky to see what we're going to get next. We're going to get a Defend. Not really what we want. Let's go ahead and trade that out. And we will hold off on picking up anything else for now. We have been hit with a couple of debuffs here. Alright, scrying our cards here. We are not going to need Lesson Learned yet. I'm probably not going to play Swivel. Enemies looking to do 21 damage to us. Protect is going to do 13 block. We might actually need the Defend. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of both of those. We'll draw our Defend here. We're going to go ahead and play Vigilance for the block. Now I can pop Empty Body for 6 more, exiting our stance, giving us 2 extra mana to work with. That puts us up at 3. Defend would give us 4, putting us at 19. That is almost a full block, but I'd rather play Protect to be safe. Now I could play an attack here. We are looking at getting an additional mana next turn, though. So I think it's going to be worth holding off on that. We'll get to scry the next 3 cards before we draw. Alright, we have Empty Body here for 7 block. We have a regular strike. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll keep the other 2. We've drawn our Ritual Dagger. Can we get to 21 block, I wonder? Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Let's go play Just Lucky. Alright, we do have a Protect coming up in the next turn, as well as a Sash Whip. We will keep that as is. We're sitting at 17 block. I do have to clear my hand a little bit. We are starting to build up too many cards. Alright. So we will take 4 damage here, dropping down to 56. He's going to attempt to apply us with a debuff here again. There's no point in picking up Sash Whip because we don't need the weak. We can pick up the Protect, I suppose. Wouldn't hurt to have it. Alright, let's go ahead and start out with Carve Reality here for the extra smite. And we throw 2 smites at him. We could play Windmill Strike here for 19. I think that's the way to go. A regular strike wouldn't do much. But there isn't really anything else to do, so we'll simply end turn here, carrying our Protect over into the next turn. 2 more turns of Weak and Frail. We are going to draw Ritual Dagger. So let's go ahead and get rid of our strike here. Alright. We'll throw a regular strike at him to start. So we need to do 18 damage. Ritual Dagger is down to 11. Let's go ahead and throw a smite first. 13. We are just outside the range of what I can do. We'll go ahead and Flying Sleeves. Down to 12. We are within 1 damage of what we need to be. Let's go ahead and double Protect here. Pop a Miracle to get Empty Body as well. That gives us a full block now. Hopefully on the next turn we draw Lesson Learned to at least be able to permanently upgrade something. And we will. Alright, let's go ahead and end this battle. A permanently upgraded Eruption. 17 gold for us. And a couple of cards to choose from. Follow up. Deal 7 damage. If the last card played this combat was an attack, gain 1 mana. We also have another Flying Sleeves and another Bowling Bash. Let's go and pick up the follow-up. Cheap damage with mana return. Alright, we are going to be going into a mini-boss here, but I think it's worth smithing a card here. Let's permanently upgrade Ritual Dagger to increase its gain by 2, up to a 5 gain. Alright, we have 3 enemies here. We do have to take out all 3 of them for the battle to end. Let's go ahead and start out with Foresight and to battle him. We definitely need to play Protect here. We don't have much of a choice when it comes to that. I'm going to go ahead and pop my Energy Potion. We'll get an extra 8 from our skill card there. Alright, so we're looking at 20 damage from the middle and guy in the back, 7 from the guy in the front, so that is a total of 27. We're 6 short. A defend will do it for us. Now, these enemies will continuously attack us. There isn't much we can really do about that. It looks like the first and second guy are going to be applying us with debuffs as well. I'm going to go ahead and pop a single miracle here. We're going to hit the enemy in front with Strike, and we'll hold on to the other 2 miracles for later. Alright, a wound was added to the discard, and our attack damage has been decreased as well. Taking a look at the next 3 cards we're going to draw, I am happy with all 3. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start out with Vigilance here for the 13 block. That's almost a full block from the first 2. So we're looking at 9 damage we need to block now. Let's go ahead and just lucky the guy in the front. That'll give us a hint of what we're going to draw next. I don't really need Eruption, so I'm going to get rid of that. Alright, let's go ahead and throw Smite at the guy in the front as well. We'll pop our Miracle to play Defend. That puts us at 23. Alright, so we will be a little short here, I think, but that's alright. Oh no, we have 1 block to spare. Close call, but not to worry. Alright. New cards we're going to be getting in the next hand here. I am okay with those. Big damage incoming from the enemy in the front here. Alright, we're looking at 11 damage from Ritual Dagger. Let's go ahead and start out with our Smite. Into a Sash Whip. I'm going to hit the enemy in the back to decrease his weapon attack. We have Empty Body here for the 8 block and 2 mana. 17 damage we need to deal to the enemy in the front. We're looking at 6 from Flying Sleeves and 11 from Ritual Dagger, so we will be able to permanently upgrade that. Alright. We are a little short on block. Let's go ahead and pop our Miracle to get Defend. That puts us at 14, so we'll block the first enemy and we'll take 5 from the second. That drops us down to 51. Alright. We're going to draw a Bowling Bash, Carve Reality, and a Strike. I'm going to get rid of 1 Strike here. Alright. We're going to go ahead and start out with just Lucky here on the enemy in the back. He's got the lowest health. We are going to draw Diva Form on our next turn. Let's go ahead and pop Follow-Up. We only need to play 2 more cards. That's unfortunate. We'll end up playing 2 more cards. We'll draw Diva Form, and we won't have enough mana to play it. Alright, let's go ahead and play our Protect here for 13 block. I could deal 20 damage to the enemy in the back, or I could wait till next turn to be able to play Diva Form. It's a hard decision. I feel like I have to. Alright, so big damage we're going to take here. Dropping us down to 38 health. Alright, we're going to draw Defend. Might as well. Alright, let's go ahead and smite the enemy in the back. We'll go ahead and strike him once again. And pop our Defend for 6 block. We will take 1 damage here, but it's definitely better than taking 15 if I had not taken out the enemy in the back. Let's go ahead and get rid of the wound card. 7 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and start out with Swivel. The next attack will cost 0. And we'll pop Windmill Strike. And I think the next card should be Smite. Full block for us. A wound card has been added to the discard, but that's fine. A lesson learned. I have a feeling we might not have enough mana here, but we're going to try it anyway. Alright, first we'll start out with a follow-up. That puts us at 3 mana. Now we can play Just Lucky. He's down to 16. We can do 10 with Lesson Learned. So let's first start out with a Smite, and now we can permanently upgrade something. We've upgraded Diva Form, so it will no longer be destroyed if it's not played right away. 29 gold, we get the Tiny Chest. Every 4th question mark room is a treasure room. We also have the Energy Potion, and a new card to add to the deck. First up, we could choose Weave. Deal 4 damage whenever you scry, return this from the discard to your hand. Indignation. If you are in Wrath, apply 3 vulnerable to all enemies, otherwise enter Wrath. And an upgraded Worship. Retain. Gain 5 Mantra. Mantra is what we are starting to build with our Relic here. So we could play this to quickly enter our Divinity state. Alright, we have 2 enemies here. We have started out with Nirvana. And Worship in the hand as well. Let's go ahead and play Nirvana here. Whenever you scry, gain 3 block. We'll also play our Battle Hymn. And let's go ahead and play our Just Lucky here. We're going to try to take out the enemy in the front first. We're going to get Vigilance and Swivel on the next turn. And we get 7 block as a result of that. Alright, let's go ahead and play a Worship here. I am going to go ahead and play a Miracle to get Empty Body, so we can get the extra block out of it. We're sitting at 6 Mantra now. 4 turns away from Divinity. Alright, 6 damage incoming. Let's go ahead and hit the enemy in the front with Just Lucky. We're going to get Ritual Dagger on the next turn. Alright, so let's go ahead and strike the enemy in the front. We need to try to take his health down as much as we can. Ritual Dagger is going to do 20 damage. We want to make sure that we are ready for it. So we need to do 13 total damage to him. Let's go and hit him with Flying Sleeves. That drops him down to 25. We'll pop our Miracle to play Vigilance. Unfortunately, we drew the Ritual Dagger before we needed to. I wasn't watching the ink bottle like I should have been. That's fine. Maybe we'll be able to hit him with Lesson Learned. We have drawn Lesson Learned. Let's go ahead and hit him with Carve Reality to get the Smite. Smite deals 12. We'll pop our Miracle for Lesson Learned and take him out. We permanently upgraded to Defend. Alright. 16 damage incoming from the enemy in the back. Unfortunately, we don't have the mana to play Diva Form because we need the Sash Whip. Oh, we do have an Energy Potion, actually. We could potentially use that. But I decided to go with Protect instead. That'll give us a full block here. We have entered Divinity. That has given us some extra mana to work with, and now we lay in with some big damage. Unfortunately, we don't have the Ritual Dagger in the hand at the moment. I think we should hold off and try to get the Ritual Dagger upgraded. He has upgraded his strength once again, 6 strength now, looking to do 22 damage. We still have not drawn our Ritual Dagger. Let's go ahead and play Just Lucky to see if it's coming up. It is not. We do have the damage output to take him out now. I think we might just have to do that because we don't have enough block to avoid taking damage here. Actually, I'm going to play Protect. I think it's worth taking the 2 damage here. Yeah, we're going to proceed as is. Hopefully we get the Ritual Dagger in the next hand. If we don't, then I will take him out with a Smite. Alright, we have drawn Just Lucky. Let's go ahead and play that. We are going to get a Defend. Let's get rid of it. We do have Protect here. Now, I do have to be careful. I am adding Dazed cards into the draw pile. We have a full block here. He has applied us with Vulnerable. 36 damage he's looking to do now. We have drawn Ritual Dagger. Let's go and permanently upgrade that. Got a colorless potion, as well as a new card to choose from. Inner Peace, if you are in com, draw 3 cards, otherwise enter com. Empty Body, gain 10 block and exit your stance. It's already upgraded. And Diva Form, once again. Difficult choices. Having 2 Diva Forms would be nice. Alright, into the next fire we go. We are going to heal here. Sitting at below half health is not a good idea going into a boss fight. Alright, the Tier 2 boss. Unfortunately, we didn't start with Diva Form in the hand. That would have been nice. Let's go ahead and Battle him and Nirvana. Whenever we scry, we gain block. Let's see what's coming up next turn. We have Flying Sleeves. We don't need that. Go ahead and play Worship as well. And we'll hold on to our Protect for next turn. Alright, enemy in the front and enemy in the back are going to steal cards from us. Alright, let's go ahead and smite the enemy in the front into a follow-up for the extra mana. We have 2 Protects we could use. I'm going to Carve Reality here first. We need 14 block. Let's go ahead and pop a Miracle to get our Protect. And I'm going to use a colorless potion here. We have Dramatic Entrance for 8 damage to all enemies. We have Deep Breath to shuffle the discard back into the draw and draw a card. And we have Discovery, 1 of 3 random cards, and it costs 0. Alright, looking at the discard pile here, we do have some cards that might be worth putting back into the draw pile. For 8 damage to all enemies. That's 24 total damage because there are 3 enemies at the moment. I think I'm going to go with Deep Breath here. Okay, let's go ahead and play that. We'll get 1 free draw out of it. We got a Lesson Learned. Unfortunately, that won't help us in this battle because minions do not count towards the upgrade. Alright, we are going to hold off for now, I think. Diva Form has been stolen by the enemy in the front. Good to know. And Diva Form's been stolen by the enemy in the back. Alright. So if we time this right, we could get both of our Diva Forms. Alright, we're going to go ahead and Carve Reality on the enemy in the front. Hit him with a Smite as well. And another Smite here. I am going to go ahead and use my energy potion here so we can play Empty Body for the full block. And then we are going to strike the enemy in the back. I could have hit the enemy in the front with that, but that would have given me my Diva form, and I'm not ready for that yet. Hopefully we draw a Scry so I can hit the enemy in the front and take him out without spending any mana. We have drawn a follow-up, that'll work. Now we get our free mana and Diva form. Big damage incoming from the boss here. I definitely need to play both of my miracles here to play Protect so we survive. We still have a Worship in the hand, which we will hold on to for next turn. Alright, big damage we can deal here. Let's hit the enemy in the back with a Smite and a Sash Whip. That'll give us our other Diva form, which we can now play for additional mana. We have Windmill Strike, looking at 45 damage from that. We now have a full hand of cards to work with. Let's go ahead and play Vigilance here. And now Empty Body for the extra block. We'll Scry. We're going to get another Just Lucky. Let's go ahead and play our Worship here. Get more Mantra built up. We still need more blocks. We're going to go ahead and play Protect here. And I could play a Defend as well for 6 more. That'll put us at 46. Big damage, big block. We took 5 damage out of that. And he is stunned for next turn. We could go ahead and play Worship here. That puts us in Divinity. And let's go ahead and Scry. Alright, we have Follow-Up and Lesson Learned incoming. Alright. Bowling Bash into another Scry, might as well. We're going to get Lesson Learned as our next card. I'm going to go ahead and send that to the discard. We won't be needing that. Go ahead and Smite. We've drawn Follow-Up. We get an additional mana out of that, and let's throw all of our Smites at it into Flying Sleeves. And we've dropped him down to 12. Perhaps it would have been good to keep our card in the hand after all. Hopefully we draw the Ritual Dagger and can make use of that. We did not. We'll go ahead and play Protect here for the 13 block, and then we'll play Deep Breath to draw. We drew a Strike. Pop our Defend here, and Empty Body as well. That puts us at a full block now. Let's go ahead and hit him with a Strike to weaken him a little bit more. We drew Windmill Strike. We have him right where we want him. Alright, we have drawn a Just Lucky here. We can scry the next 2 cards of the draw pile. We have a Swivel and a Sash Whip. Let's go ahead and get rid of both of those. He is going to increase his attack power on the next turn, but we are not worried about that. We have another Just Lucky here. We're going to get a Strike. Let's get rid of that. 32 damage incoming. Let's go pop Protect. That puts us at 19. We'll pop Vigilance as well. That puts us at 32. That is a full block for us now. We've got Lesson Learned now. Let's go ahead and play it. We've permanently upgraded our follow-up. Let's go ahead and pick up the 96 gold and a couple more cards to choose from. I already see the one I'm going to pick, but I'll read all 3. At the start of your turn, gain 2 mantra. Whenever a card is retained, reduce its cost by 1, and gain 3 block for each card in your hand. Now, a good choice would be Devotion, because playing this stacks with the relic that we have, giving us much faster mantra. I could also pick Establishment, because it reduced the costs of cards that you retain by 1, essentially making everything free. Now, as you've seen with the damage output of Divinity, going with Devotion is definitely the way to go. We're going to go ahead and pick that up. And let's go and open the chest here. There are 3 options. Once again, I already see the one I'm going to pick, but I'm going to read all 3 anyway. We have the Runic Pyramid. At the end of your turn, you no longer discard your hand. So that means you will essentially have to play through all of your cards in order to draw more. Philosopher's Stone, gain mana at the start of your turn. All enemies start combat with 1 strength. And the Tiny House. Upon pickup, obtain 1 potion, gain 50 gold, raise your max health by 5, obtain 1 card, and upgrade 1. Let's go ahead and pick up the Tiny House. We've upgraded a Defend card here, gain 5 max health, 50 gold, a Smoke Bomb to escape from a non-boss combat, and a new card to add to the deck. We have Swivel, once again. 8 block, the next attack is 0 cost. Sanctity, 6 block, gain 2 cards if the last card played was a skill. And Halt, gain 4 block, if you were in Wrath, gain 14 additional block. Let's go and pick that up. It's a 0 cost, so free block. And the final boss I just saw is the Time boss, so we do have to keep that in mind. Alright, keeping an eye out for fires here. Alright, I'm going to head pretty much straight up the middle here. I see that there are 4 fires as well as a mini-boss to fight, which means another chance at a relic. Alright, we got Rushdown. Whenever you enter Wrath, draw 2 cards. Let's go play that. Now we will play Battle Hymn into Just Lucky. We're going to get a strike on the next turn. We'll go and pop Vigilance here. There isn't really anything else worth playing now, so we'll end turn. That was a full block for us. Alright, we have drawn our Diva form. Let's go ahead and play that. That counts as a 10th card, giving us the follow-up back. Alright, so 13 damage incoming here. We have a Protect for 13 block. Let's go ahead and double Miracle. Unfortunately, I don't think I can really make this work the way I want to. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and play Carve Reality to get the Smite, and then we'll play Follow-Up, giving us 1 mana back. And now we'll play our Miracle to get Protect. And that'll give us now a full block and an extra Smite to work with. 2 burn cards, 1 added to the draw, 1 to the discard. We have now our second Diva form. We are going to go ahead and play that. We also have a 0-cost Halt for 5 block. And unfortunately, that is it for block for us. We could play Ritual Dagger for 25 damage, but we're going to hold off on that. Let's go play a Smite here to get that out of the hand. 11 damage taken, dropping us down to 80 health. 2 more burn cards added into the deck. We have drawn our Lesson Learned here for 10 damage. We could start out with Eruption here. I don't know if the damage output's going to be strong enough, but we're going to try. My hand is full. Let's go throw a Smite. Alright, 20 damage we'll get out of Lesson Learned, so we need to do at least 10 more damage. Let's go ahead and throw a Smite here into Lesson Learned for a permanent upgrade. We've upgraded another Defend, 15 gold, an Explosive Potion for 10 damage to all enemies, and a new card to add to the deck. Wave of the Hand. Whenever you gain block this turn, apply 1 weak to all enemies. Signature move, and another protect. Let's go ahead and pick up Wave of the Hand. Into the next enemy combat we go. We have 3 enemies here to contend with. The enemy in the middle has Thorns. The enemy in the back will blow up if he is not defeated within 3 turns. Alright, we have Nirvana. Whenever you scry, gain 3 block. Let's go and pop our Diva form. Play a Miracle here to get a Battle Hymn. Alright, we also need to pop at least 1 Defend here. That gives us 9 block to contend with. 7 more damage is incoming. Let's go and pop our other Miracle here to get another Defend. That puts us at 15. That's almost a full block. We're looking at 1 damage, which will drop us down to 79 health. We didn't play an attack there, so we will gain 1 extra mana next turn. Alright, we have drawn Vigilance. Let's go ahead and pop that. Oh, before we do, let's play Wave of the Hand. That'll apply weak to all enemies. Vigilance now. We'll go ahead and play Just Lucky. We'll hit the enemy in the back. We're going to get Lesson Learned next turn. Into a follow-up for the extra mana. Go ahead and throw Flying Sleeves at the enemy in the back, as well as Smite to finish him off. Three turns of weak on all of the enemies left in the battle, so we won't have to worry as much about blocking. Let's go ahead and target the enemy in the front with our strike. I am going to go ahead and pop the Protect here, simply because I have it. Lesson Learned doesn't really help us at the moment. We'll get rid of all these Dazed cards, though. 2 more Dazed cards added into the draw pile. Alright, we have found ourselves with an opportunity to permanently upgrade the Ritual Dagger. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start out with Empty Body to exit our stance, draw a card, and gain the mana. We'll go ahead and play a Swivel. Actually, it might not even be worth playing Swivel this time. Alright, let's go ahead and pop Protect. We're sitting at 21 block, 5 damage we would take every time we strike the enemy in the back. Do we have the damage output to make this happen? Let's go ahead and play Eruption. We'll hit the enemy in the back. That puts us into Wrath. 16 block remaining. 50 damage from Ritual Dagger should take him out right away. And now we will smite the enemy in the front to take him out as well. Alright, new cards. We have Third Eye here. 9 block, 5 scry. We also have Crescendo to enter Wrath, and Pressure Points. Let's go and pick up Third Eye. 9 block, and then the potential to gain block from scrying cards, depending on what our power card is to start. Study. At the end of your turn, shuffle an Insight to draw cards into the draw pile. Let's go ahead and play that. We'll go ahead and play Wave of the Hand. And Empty Body as well. That applies weak to him. We're going to get Battle Hymn. We're going to go ahead and play all of our miracles here so we can get Diva form. Actually, we are looking at quite a bit of damage here. I think it's worth actually striking him instead, going with my initial plan, playing Devotion. And then I could use the Explosive Potion to avoid taking any damage here, but I'm going to hold on to it just in case. I might need it on a future turn. Alright, let's go and play Vigilance here for the 13 block. Halt is free, might as well play it. And I could play a Smite here for 12 damage. Alright, that puts him at 28. That's 10 damage we're going to take. I am not willing to do that. Let's go ahead and Smoke Bomb our way out of here. Into the question mark room we go. Falling. As you head upwards, hopping from one floating shape to another, you slip. You begin to fall. While in freefall, you consider your options. Land safely with your greatest techniques, channel a power to survive the fall, or strike at the wall to hang on it. So we could trade Swivel, Battle Hymn, or a regular strike. Let's go ahead and get rid of a strike. You are able to latch onto the wall and manage to make a short hop onto another stable platform. Alright, we are continuing north here into the next enemy combat. We have 3 enemies to contend with. Seems like a good opportunity to use our explosive potion. Let's go ahead and do so. Alright, we're going to go ahead and play a Like Water. While in com, we gain 5 block. Let's go ahead and play Battle Hymn into Worship. We have drawn Eruption. Let's go ahead and play our Miracle here to get a Defend. Might as well play another Miracle to get Carve Reality as well. We got our Smite. And that'll be it for this turn. So we are looking at 9 damage here. Drops us down to 67 health. Alright, we have drawn both of our Diva forms. I am going to go ahead and play the unupgraded one. We will get to keep the upgraded one in the deck, as it will not expire. Unfortunately, we have not drawn any block, though, other than Swivel, but we can't afford to play that at the moment. Well, I guess we will have to take the damage that's about to come our way here. We drop down to 60, then we're going to take 16, dropping us down to 44. We're just below half health here. Alright, we have 5 mana to work with. Let's go and pop a Devotion. That'll give us extra mantra build-up each turn. So we should pop into Divinity on the next turn. We'll go and play Halt because it's free. Alright, so we need to play an attack here in order to trigger follow-up for the extra mana. That puts us back at 3. Alright, we got just lucky out of that. Let's go and hit the enemy in the front. We're going to get Defend and Empty Body next turn. And then Strike. We've taken out the enemy in the front, so we've decreased the damage we're about to receive to 0. Alright, we need to do 40 damage to the enemy in the middle and 26 to the enemy in the back. Well, 26 just became 38. We have entered Divinity, though. That does mean there is a chance. Let's go ahead and Bowling Bash the enemy with the higher health, the enemy in the middle. And now we will Smite and strike the enemy in the back. Alright, we have won the battle. Alright, upgraded Indignation. If you are in Wrath, apply 5 vulnerable to all enemies. Tranquility, enter Calm. And this is a retain card, so it will stay in the hand. And another upgraded Halt. Let's go and pick up Tranquility for more opportunities to enter Calm. Into the next enemy combat, we have one who will randomize his attacks based on attack damage received. Let's go and start out with Diva form. We'll play our Battle Hymns. Alright, and we do need to pop both of our Miracles here to get our Vigilance played. That'll put us into Calm. Let's go and also play Liquid Bronze to deal damage back to the enemy every time we're struck. We're going to take 8 damage here, dropping us down to 36 health remaining. 32 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and play a Swivel here to make our next attack cost 0. We'll go ahead and play Smite into a follow-up. That gives us our extra mana out of it. We have 9 block to work with. Let's go ahead and throw another Smite, see what he does. 10 damage. Alright.
go ahead and play Third Eye here to scry. These are the next 5 cards we're going to draw next turn. I don't think we need 2 empty bodies. Let's get rid of 1, and we'll get rid of our strike as well. And now we Bowling Bash. 15 damage. I can live with that. We're going to block all of that. And we have to keep in mind, once we play our next card, we will automatically draw a card. Let's go ahead and start out with Sash Whip. That'll weaken him a little bit. Now we get our Devotion for the mantra buildup. Alright, we have also drawn Worship. Let's go ahead and play Empty Body first to exit our stance, gaining the mana. Now we play Worship here. Could play Protect for the 13 block. That'll give us a full block to work with. Or I could play Tranquility and a Defend, which would give us 9. That puts us at 17. That's still a full block. And we'll enter Tranquility for the Calm, which will give us 2 mana next turn when we enter Divinity. Alright, so 15 damage incoming here. We have a free halt. But first we're going to go ahead and play Wave of the Hand to get the extra weak applied to the enemy. Go ahead and play Carve Reality here and start throwing our smites. We have drawn Diva form. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to increase. We don't have Lesson Learned or our Ritual Dagger here. Alright, if we hit him again with another smite, we risk killing him. We don't want to do that. Let's go and play Diva form. And we might as well play our Defend here. And a Protect. Let's keep applying him with Weak. And we'll hold on to everything else for now. Alright, let's play Just Lucky here. Looks like a Defend we don't need. We've changed his attack now to 36 damage. We don't want that. Let's go ahead and hit him with a Strike. Switched him now to 16. I think we can manage that. Alright, so we are stuck with 6 cards in the hand, but we have a pretty good chance of drawing Lesson Learned on the next turn. Alright, so we managed to draw everything but Lesson Learned. Let's go ahead and get rid of a couple of cards here. We are going to draw 2 smites at the start of the next turn. So I am going to go ahead and use a smite here. He's going to apply us with a curse that's going to stay in the deck permanently. So we definitely need to take him out here. Oh, very nice. We drew Lesson Learned. That's 7 damage. We need to do 6, so we have it. We permanently upgraded a Strike. Got some gold and a Strength Potion. Alright, new cards. Talk to the Hand. Deal 5 damage whenever you attack this enemy, gain 2 block. Foresight. At the start of your turn, scry 3 and another Indignation. Let's go and pick up Talk to the Hand. Into the fire we go. I do think we should heal here. Alright, let's heal back up to 63. And then we'll head into the next enemy combat. 3 enemies here. The front 2 will explode. The enemy in the back simply has a lot of block to work through. Let's go ahead and start out with our Battle Hymn and our Mental Fortress. Let's get a 0-cost halt for some block. Go ahead and play Tranquility to enter Calm, giving us 4 extra block. We have a full block on the enemy in the front now. Alright, I am going to pop a Miracle here to get Swivel. And then we can pop flying sleeves on the enemy in the front. Alright, so now we have a full block, simply to take out the first two enemies before their third turn so they don't blow up. Alright, let's go ahead and talk to the hand the second enemy. And try to build up some damage now. We can Ritual Dagger the first enemy out. And now we smite. We'll pop a Miracle to get Carve Reality as well. Pop our third and final Miracle for a strike. That puts us at 6 blocks, so we will take 4 damage here from the enemy in the back. But we whittled down his comrades, so we should be able to take him down rather quick. We have a follow-up for some free mana. Let's go ahead and empty body for the extra mana from Calm. Might as well play a Wave of the Hand here. Played it a little later than I should have, but that's fine. Alright. And now we will throw a strike. I could have played Smite instead, but it will retain, so we can always play it next turn. Took 1 damage there, dropping down to 58. We have a Sash Whip here. We also have the unupgraded Diva form. It will use 3 mana though, putting us at 0 remaining, so we'll take 10 damage here. Alternatively, I could play Third Eye. First, I'm going to go ahead and play Sash Whip to wear out one of his artifacts. Third Eye tells us we will draw another Diva form next turn, as well as Devotion and Vigilance. Pretty good hand here. I don't think we're going to need Lesson Learned, though, but I will keep it just in case. Let's go ahead and throw a Smite here, since we don't have anything we can block with. Alright, we have him down to 25 block, 20 health. He has increased his block by 15 up to 40. Okay. Let's go ahead and play Vigilance here for the Calm and block. Into Just Lucky. We already know we're going to get Lesson Learned next turn. We could play Devotion here for the 2 mantra generation. We don't really have any other options. We could play a Smite, but that isn't really the best play here, I don't think. Drop down to 50 health after taking 5 damage there. Let's go ahead and play Empty Body for the mana. Alright, let's hit him with a Smite. And another one. And another one. Oh, actually, it might be better to... Windmill would do 19 damage. No, I think it's better to hit him with a Smite here. Unfortunately, we don't have anything else to give us mana. It would have been nice to have Lesson Learned played again here. Let's go ahead and use our Smite. That drops him down to 9 health. He will apply himself with some armor, though. Alright, so 20 damage incoming here. We have enough to take him out pretty much with anything we choose. Let's go ahead and use follow-up. 15 gold. We get an upgraded Wheel Kick for 20 damage and 2 draw. We have another Indignation, and we have Conclude for 12 damage to all enemies. We don't have a whole lot of AoE, so let's go ahead and pick up Conclude. Into the treasure room we go. We have Vajra. Start each combat with 1 strength. Sure, why not? Now we start with 1 strength and 1 dexterity. Alright, we do have a mini-boss to fight, but I think we can handle him by upgrading a card here. We can upgrade Talk to the Hand to do 7 damage and give us 3 block every time we strike. We can upgrade Wave of the Hand to apply 2 weak to all enemies instead of 1 when we apply block to ourselves. We can upgrade Devotion to give 3 mantra instead of 2. That, I think, is going to be the best outcome, actually. Into the mini-boss we go. Alright, so she will summon the daggers, which on their second turn will deal significant damage. So we have to take them out rather quick. Let's go and pop 2 battle hymns. We'll get our devotion going for the quick mantra. We'll pop a miracle. We can get worship. And halt will give us 5 block. We need a little bit more, so I'll pop my second miracle for empty body as well. Alright, that puts us at 13. That's not enough for a full block, but it will block most of the incoming damage. The boss, in the meantime, is going to summon another dagger. We've entered Divinity, so now we can play Diva form. We'll go ahead and play Wave of the Hand to apply weak to all enemies. We'll pop... Well, we don't want to pop Vigilance yet. If anything, that's how we end the turn. Let's go ahead and smite the 2 daggers that are looking to take us down. Alright, now we pop our Miracle, and we pop Vigilance as well. That puts us into Calm, gives us 13 block, and applies 1 weak to all enemies. We will take a little bit of damage here. That was unavoidable, though. Sitting at 30 health now. Big damage coming from the enemy in the front. Let's go ahead and play our empty body to exit stance, giving us extra mana to work with. Now we can play Tranquility to go back into Calm, if we want to. Alright, 26 damage from the boss herself, and 25 from the minion behind her. So we're going to use Smite to take out the minion. Alright, let's go ahead and use Just Lucky here. We're going to get Sash Whip here in just a second. And we can use that to apply weak to the boss, dropping her down to 18 damage. Seems like a good opportunity to play Tranquility and enter Calm into Defend for a full block. Alright, we have drawn Ritual Dagger here. Let's go ahead and pop Eruption. The enemy's not planning to attack, so let's go ahead and use up all of our attack stuff. Ritual Dagger is going to do 54 damage. Unfortunately, that's not enough to take her down, but we will go ahead and do it anyway. We've drawn Diva form. Unfortunately, it is not upgraded, so it will disintegrate. We do still have the opportunity to draw Lesson Learned. I don't know if it's going to be the next card we draw, but there's a chance. And it has come up. 33 damage we'll get from Lesson Learned. Let's go ahead and play it. Permanently upgrade one of our empty bodies. Bag of Marbles. At the start of each combat, apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies. Very nice. We have yet another Battle Hymn. We have Tantrum. 3 damage 3 times, enter Wrath. And we have Worship, an upgraded Worship, for 5 mantra. Alright, we are already getting smites pretty reliably. Let's go ahead and pick up Worship, why not? We can plan around that. We have 444 gold. We could either go to the right for a fire, or to the left for a shop. That is tricky. Let's go into the shop here and see if there's anything worth purchasing. Membership card for the discount, absolutely. Whenever you rest, you may add a card to the deck. Upgrade 2 random skills, sure. We upgraded Wave of the Hand and Swivel. Alright, we could pick up Nirvana. When you scry, gain 3 block. Perseverance, gain 5 block. When retained, increase its block by 2 for the rest of combat. Another Halt. We have Sands of Time. Deal 20 damage. When retained, lower its cost by 1. And we have Madness here. Reduce the cost of a random card in your hand to 0 for the rest of combat. We also have Mayhem. At the start of your turn, play the top card of your draw pile. I definitely want that. We'll go ahead and pick up Perseverance as well. We might as well pick up Sands of Time.
Now it becomes a bit more challenging. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up the regeneration potion here, so we can start regenning health. And Nirvana's almost free, might as well take that as well. Into the question mark room we go. Winding halls. As you slowly make your way up the twisting pathways, you constantly find yourself losing your way as the walls and ground seem to inexplicably shift before your eyes. The constant whispering voices in the back of your head aren't helping things either. Passing by a structure you are certain you have previously seen, you start to question if you are going insane, or if the impossible geography of this place is starting to get to you. You need to change something, and soon. That's what the voices say anyway, and why would they lie? Okay, so a couple of options. We could trade 11 health for 2 madness. We could become cursed with Writhe, which is unplayable and starts in the hand at the beginning of combat, but we heal 23 health, or we could lose 5 max health. Let's take the opportunity to heal here. Writhe isn't the worst curse card to have. All it is essentially is a placeholder card that starts in your starting hand. As you take a moment to stop and carefully observe the undulating landscape around you, the hint of a pattern starts to emerge from within the randomness. Whenever the demented noises begin to interrupt your thoughts, you struggle through the mental pain and ignore it. Eventually, you successfully map out a path forward and continue on, now resistant to the nefarious nature of this alien place. Into the next enemy combat we go. We have 4 enemies to contend with. Seems like a good opportunity for us to use our regen potion. Alright, so to start, we're going to go ahead and play Battle Hymn, and Like Water as well. We also have the opportunity to enter Calm. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we have applied 1 vulnerable to all enemies. We definitely need some blocks, so we're going to go ahead and play our Miracle. Now, if I were to hit one of these enemies, I would do 16 damage. That's not enough to take them out. So let's go ahead and pop our Defend here. We are going to get 5 block from Like Water, so we'll be sitting at 14. That's not enough for a full block, though. So I'm going to go ahead and pop Perseverance as well. That now puts us at 20, which is a full block. Two dazed cards have been shuffled into the draw pile. We need to make sure to take out the second from the back enemy before he blows up. 9 damage incoming this time around. We're going to get 5 automatically from being in Calm. Might as well go ahead and play Nirvana here. Third Eye will tell us what we're about to draw, as well as give us some extra block. Looks like a pretty decent hand here coming up. We can take out the enemy second from the back with the Ritual Dagger and permanently upgrade it. Let's go ahead and use... Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and carve Reality on the second from the back, very back, I should say. Now we can just lucky our way into knowing what's next. We're going to get Diva form. And we can't really do much else at the moment, so I'm going to hold off for now. We are healing ever so slightly. Seven damage coming from the enemy in the front this time around. Let's go ahead and play Diva form to start. We'll pop our Miracle. We're going to get 5 block automatically. Let's go ahead and play Talk to the Hand. We'll hit the enemy in the second from the front. Now we pop our second, or third and final Miracle, I should say, into a Bowling Bash. We've taken him out and gained some extra block there. Two more dazed cards back into the draw pile. We have drawn Empty Body. We don't really need it at the moment, though. But it is 1 free mana, so let's go ahead and do it. Alright. Let's go ahead and smite the enemy in the back. Let's take him out altogether. We've drawn Sash Whip. Not the best play here because he's not going to attack us.
Let's go ahead and play a Vigilance here to enter Calm once again. And now we can Smite for 13. We'll gain 1 health at the end of next turn if we don't finish the battle before that. 7 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and start out with Swivel for the 12 block. Our next attack will be free. Let's go ahead and play Windmill Strike. Alright, so 7 damage incoming. We're already in Calm, so we will gain 5, putting us up at just enough. So we'll go ahead and play Worship here for the 5 mantra. Oh, we have left Calm and gained the mana. Didn't realize just how close we were. Alright, so let's go ahead and play Protect here for the block. Might as well go ahead and play Mantra, because we can. And let's finish him off. 20 gold. And a couple of new cards. Signature Move for 30 damage, Bowling Bash for 10 to each enemy, and an upgraded Consecrate as well, for 8 damage to all enemies at no cost. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Into the fire we go. We're sitting at 67. We could go ahead and Smith here, but this boss is going to be challenging if we don't heal. So let's go ahead and heal back to full. Alright, so we can only play 10 cards before he automatically ends our turn. Let's go ahead and start out with Foresight, which will allow us to scry. We'll play our Battle Hymn as well. That gives us Tranquility. We can play that to enter Calm, and then Empty Body for the block and extra mana. Let's go ahead and scry, see what we're coming up with. Very nice. And a Defend here gives us a full block. Now, we are sitting at 6 cards left that we can play, so we do have to be careful here. 26 damage incoming. We're about to draw Sash Whip, Vigilance, and Bowling Bash. Bowling Bash is okay, but it's not what we want. Alright, we have drawn Diva Form. Let's go ahead and play that now. Definitely going to need it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and play our Miracle here to get Nirvana for the free block. And 2 Miracles into Vigilance. He will automatically end our turn. Alright, dropping us down to 76 health. We do get to scry here to see what we're going to draw next. We're going to get rid of Flying Sleeves. We don't really want that for this combat. And we gain 9... Oh, only 3. I see. I thought maybe it would take effect per card we get to see, but it does not. Alright, let's go and play Empty Body here, exit our stance, and give ourselves some extra mana. We're sitting at 14 block now, 27 damage incoming. Let's go and play Third Eye to scry once again. Our hand coming up looks nice, so we'll go ahead and keep that as is. We have Sands of Time down to a 2 cost now, 21 damage. Let's go ahead and double Smite. We have a full block, so we don't need to worry about any more block. Let's go and play Sands of Time. We have him down to 402 health. Alright, another scry here. Pretty decent hand coming up. Let's go ahead and play a Worship here for the 5 mantra. Carve Reality to get a free Smite. We do have to be careful. We will be drawing a free card in 3 card plays. Play Defend here. We're going to get 4 cards next turn. So let's hold off for now. We are looking at a decent amount of damage incoming here. We've dropped down to 61 health. And we've entered Divinity. We'll get rid of Strike. We have drawn our upgraded Diva Form. We definitely need to play that. We have Halt, which would do 5 block. We also have Conclude for 39. Let's go ahead and play our Protect here. That gives us a free card, Eruption. We could play another Protect here. That puts us at 29, just enough to avoid damage. Alright, let's go ahead and play a Smite here. 1 damage we'll take, dropping down to 60 health. Alright, looking at our new cards, we're going to draw. We definitely don't need Lesson Learned. We'll get rid of that. 33 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and play Devotion. Go ahead and get Mayhem as well for the free play. We're going to get 8 block from Perseverance if we choose to play it. We don't really have much of a choice here. 20 block, 33 damage he's looking to do. Might as well throw all 3 of our smites here. We'll hold on to Windmill Strike for a later date. Dropping us down to 47 health now. Another 33 damage incoming from this enemy. Alright. Let's go ahead and play Wave of the Hand here. Into Talk to the Hand. Now we can play Follow-Up. I could play Swivel here for 12 block. That would end our turn, though. Or I could play Worship, which would put us into Divinity and essentially be useless. So let's go ahead and play Swivel here for the free block. Now our next attack we play will cost 0. I believe that carries over into the next turn as well. It does. We're going to draw just lucky here, might as well. Alright, we have drawn Worship. We got a free Calm here. Alright, let's go ahead and Smite into a Sash Whip for the extra turn of Weak. We're going to hold off on playing Worship this turn. We're going to let ourselves naturally go into Divinity next turn. Pop a Defend here, just to avoid taking any incoming damage. We have entered Divinity. Get rid of the regular Defend here. Alright, let's go and play Follow-Up here for the free mana. Throw our Smites. Into a... Well, Flying Sleeve will do the same amount of damage as a Strike. And Windmill, we've dropped it down to 36. Hit him with a regular Strike here. We're sitting at 19 block. We need just a little bit more. Go ahead and play Third Eye. Looks like a pretty decent hand we're going to get next turn. He has automatically ended our turn for us. 1 damage we'll take here, dropping down to 36. But we have this battle in the bag now. We can take him out this turn. Let's go ahead and hit him with Sands of Time. A deep pulsing dread can be felt throughout the room. Is this the heart of the Spire? The source of all this evil? You prime your staff with divine energy. You deal 713 damage. The heart squirms and bleeds, but is ultimately still pounding. Are your mightiest attacks not enough? You ask yourself, have I been here before? The heart pulses louder and louder as your consciousness begins to fade. A sudden burst of energy emanates from inside you, jolting you awake. The heart retreats upwards. A large door is revealed in its place. Now to use the tricolored key to open the door. Alright, let's go ahead and smith a card here. Question is, what would be the best choice? If we choose Mayhem, we can reduce it to a 1 cost. We could get more block out of Talk to the Hand. We could make Tranquility free. There's no point in worrying about Lesson Learned anymore. We could make Diva Form not disintegrate if it's not played right away. I think we're to go with Mayhem. Making that 1 cost means it's 1 less mana we have to worry about in the grand scheme of things. Oh, very nice. We can get another Perseverance. Extra block. We definitely want that. Into the mini-boss here. Whichever one is behind me will deal increased damage. So we definitely want to make sure we're facing the proper direction here. Alright, let's go ahead and pop Foresight here. We'll scry 3 cards at the start of our turn. Into Battle Hymn, gives us a free card. Let's go ahead and Bowling Bash the enemy in front of us. Scry to see what we're going to draw. Third Eye and Sash Whip, mine as well. Alright, that gives us 4 block now. Let's go ahead and play our Upgraded Defend. That gives us 13. And we'll hold on to our Miracles for next turn. Two burn cards added to the discard pile. Alright, we're going to draw Empty Body as well. Alright, 30 damage coming from the enemy in front of us, 18 from the enemy behind us. We can play Swivel for a free attack. Strike the enemy in front, and then Sash Whip as well to weaken him. Let's go ahead and play a Miracle here to get our third eye. We do have a Diva form coming up. Alright, we're sitting at 22 block. We'll block all the damage from the enemy in front of us and take a decent sum of damage from the enemy behind us. So we definitely need to play our Miracle here and use Empty Body. That gave us Conclude. Let's go ahead and pop another Miracle here. We're sitting at 30 now. Let's go ahead and play Perseverance. We need to try to retain as much health as we can heading into the boss fight. So we'll take 3 damage. Alright. Looks like Diva form is going to come up in the next hand. 51 damage coming from the enemy behind us. Let's go ahead and play Diva form and use Just Lucky to turn around. That decreases the enemy that was doing 50 something down to 34. That was worth it for us. Unfortunately, we do not have much in the way of blocks, so we will be eating most of this damage. That drops us down to 43. We're sitting at about half here. Alright. 12 damage coming from the enemy in front of us here. Let's go ahead and start out with a Consecrate. Then we will Carve Reality. The only thing we've drawn that gives us block is Perseverance. Alright, so as far as our options go, he does have 20 blocks still on him. I could throw 2 smites, but that would only do 4 damage. Let's go ahead and take the opportunity to enter Calm. And we'll get 9 damage out of a strike. There isn't really much need to do anything. But we are going to end up retaining too many cards. So, getting rid of one of our smites might be in our best interest here. Strength has been decreased by 1 once again. Alright, we have Wave of the Hand, Follow-Up, and Ritual Dagger coming up. Ritual Dagger does 40 damage, so it might be worth having. Okay, let's start out with our follow-up to turn around, giving ourselves extra mana. We have drawn a Defend, good opportunity for Wave of the Hand. We'll pop Defend to apply Weak to everything. We have Worship as well, which will pop us out of Calm, giving us a significant amount of mana, and increasing our damage output. We're looking at 117 damage. That's enough to take out the enemy in front of us. Alright, so now we can use our Smites and our Windmill as well. And just like that, the mini-boss before the final boss has fallen. Eternal Feather. For every 5 cards in your deck, heal 3 health whenever you enter a rest site. That is absolutely useless for us now. And we get one more upgraded card to choose from. Simmering Fury. At the start of your next turn, enter Wrath and draw 3 cards. Pressure Points, and Flurry of Blows. I think Pressure Points is actually worth picking up here, because it will apply Mark to an enemy, and they will just continuously lose health. That'll help us out on the next fight, because playing cards causes us to lose health going forward. Alright, so whenever you scry, gain 3 block. That's going to help us out. We are going to take a bit of damage here. Let's try and get ourselves set up. Definitely need to get Mayhem played. Alright, we don't have any way to carry block over into the next turn, so we're just going to hold off on playing any more cards this turn. One of each type of status card has been added to our draw pile. 60 damage incoming from the boss here. Alright, so Mayhem playing cards for us also triggers the boss's effect, unfortunately. But I would have chosen to play that same card regardless, so I'm not too upset about it. Let's go ahead and start out with a Protect here into Tranquility for Calm, and then we will play Empty Body to gain 8 and the extra mana back. Our next attack is still free. Let's go ahead and Smite. Let's play Defend and Perseverance. We've drawn yet another Perseverance. Alright, that puts us at 25 block. Unfortunately, we are just short. We were 1 health away from being able to survive that attack. Alright, and that does bring us to the end of today's playthrough. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you are watching from YouTube. If you're watching from Twitch, or if you're interested in checking me out on Twitch, please feel free to drop me a follow. I do stream 5 days a week, from Tuesday to Thursday, Saturday and Sunday as well, from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. EST. If you miss me one day, don't fret. Feel free to drop in the next. Alright, until next time.